We have quite a few people who are joining us today, and for those of you joining, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty, so you won't see Edythe's face, I'm sorry to say, but we will certainly hear her voice today. So I want to welcome Edythe. Thanks for being with us. Edythe Boone is a self-taught artist and an activist. She works as a muralist, a counselor, an art educator, and she's spent decades using art as a tool for community transformation, bringing diverse individuals and communities together and fostering change through empathy. Whether collaborating on a mural as large and epic as the Maestra Peace mural on the Women's Building in San Francisco, all the way down to teaching a young student a new medium, Edythe's message is really clear that art and its healing power is for everyone. Edythe, I'm so impressed by the work you've done, and I wanted to know if you could tell us a little bit about, I stopped by the mural that we just spoke of, Maestra Peace, this week, and it's just so good, and it's a beautiful, it's beautiful representation of how like visual expression can really be a powerful medium for, spreading seeds of change in a community. And I think that's at the heart of a lot of your work. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that, how your art and activism connect to each other.
Well, so usually hello everybody on the panel. I just want to say hello to everybody. Usually when I go into a community, I really do try to get to know the community because I know that I'm going to be there for a little while. And I can't put what I believe should be on the wall because this is their wall. So I try to go and get what they're really saying. And so I interview. And so usually I have a lot of meetings with people and I feed them good. I try to feed them good. If I have a grant, I try to go and have good food for them so they can feel comfortable and they can bring their kids and just really make it really comfortable for all ages. And talk to them about what do they see should be on the wall? What themes should be? What's going on in your neighborhood? And once they start talking, it's just wonderful. People just open up, and that's how I get ideas on how to go and bring a beautiful mural to a community. And I make many friends, of this community. That's what's so beautiful about it. You meet people and then you learn to care about them and you see that there are all kinds of people. They're foot soldiers, people who clean their community. Every community that ever went in, somebody was cleaning it. Some person, whether it was a male or a female, was picking up the dirt in the community and they lived in the community. Almost every mural that I went into, there was a person like that. So I call them foot soldiers, because they're on the ground. They know what's going on in the community. I think I said enough.
Well, I love what you're saying. It's strange that this is like a novel idea, but asking the community, what's going on for them, what do they want addressed, acknowledging the position of a foot soldier. These aren't things that always happen when decisions are made in our society. So this is really unique. Yeah. And I wonder with the mural on the Women's Building specifically, like what was that process like? Were you gathering people and talking in the community?
Oh, yes. We sent out thousands and thousands and thousands of flyers and had many, many meetings and knocked on many doors because we wanted to get it right. And we wanted to represent every woman in the world. And as you notice on the Women's Building, there's only one male there. And he's wearing the 49 socks. That was my son who I adopted at 15. He was 15 months old, and he was in 2 homes, and he was abused in both of those homes. And he turned out to be such a wonderful young man. He passed away 3 years ago, but he was such a beautiful young man that I'm so glad that he's on that mural. Also, since we're talking about the mural, I just want to say one thing. That there's a new book about the mural, and it's called Maestra Peace, Maestrapeace. And it's such a beautiful book, and you can buy it at Costco. And it's a big book. You would want to keep it on your coffee table. So Costco is selling it now, but it's really a beautiful book. So check it out.
Awesome. And there's also been, Edie, you're the highlighted person in a documentary.
Yes, I mean.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that process.
Well, I met this woman. Her name was Mo Mars, and I had her daughter who works with me now. She's an artist, and she came to me one day and asked me, could she do a documentary about me? I said, no, I'm not interested in that. And then she kept asking me and kept asking me, and then I thought about it, and I said, well, I can put a twist on this and help young people and help old people. You know, I that's what I felt. So I felt that if I could help young people and do a mural with young people and it's videotaped, and if I did a mural with old people and it was videotaped, that it would help other young people and other old people who would see this video. And so it became a hit. I mean, it's called A New Color.
Yeah.
You know, everybody who hears that thinks that I'm trying to go and change somebody's color or something like that. But no, I was always looking to go and make a new color. And I'm still doing that. You know, I figured I was going to make a lot of money if I made a new color that nobody else seen. And I'm still trying. Maybe I'll make it.
I love that. Well, and it's poetic too, the idea of a new color and what you do in your community work, the newness that you bring through art. There's a lot of parallel there, I think. And
Yeah.
I wonder your thoughts on, you know, as an outsider walking past, say, let's say a mural in the community, of course you might stop and look at how beautiful it is. You might take in some of its message. You know, what do you hear from people that are seeing your work out in the community? How does that create resiliency or change in the community?
Well, I just finished a mural on Ashby and Ellis, right across the street from the senior building and Malcolm X School in Berkeley. And the mural was the history of South Berkeley. So I live close by. I live in South Berkeley. And I know the community. And so when I first came, I didn't know all of the people in the community. And so what I did was I started getting to know some of the people in the community. And I also joined an activist group, which is called Friends of Edythe, which we meet every other Monday and try to bring change to, because South Berkeley was a neighborhood that was gentrified recently. It was 40% blacks, and now it's only 6%. And that was very painful to a lot of people because people were pushed out of their houses for not good reasons. So the first thing that I did was I went and did, the first year I did research. I got a grant. I think it was $3,000. And I did research. I went to the library. I went to the, I just went places. I talked to people, and I just got all this information about Rumford and different people who were heroes because people, the Japanese internment, it starts from the American Indians, and then it shows the Japanese internment, how they were pushed out. And then it goes to the African Americans, and it shows now that they're pushed out, you know, but it's done with such dignity, because what happens is that when you go to certain cities, they have certain areas that Black people can live, and they call it redlining. And that's what happened here. That's how all of those people, but a lot of heroes and sheroes. Mabel Howard is Mildred Howard. Her daughter is a famous artist, has a art and museum. She was pushed out because they kept raising the rent, and she had a studio, and was born there. And her mother was responsible. Mabel Howard was responsible for the train, the BART train going under, instead of riding like from MacArthur, on top, the L, So she fought for that, and she fought with tough nails and stuff. The story is powerful. They have a documentary about her story, how she fought the BART people and got that train to go underground because she felt like it would separate the other part of District 3. We're in District 3. And so if you put the L up, it would have just, over the track, you know what I'm talking about. So she fought for that not to happen. And so now I want to, so it's a section here where all of the heroes who are not here anymore, I want to put plays on about them and bring them back to life and teach people of what has happened and how brave these people were. There was a man that used to wave every single morning, Mr. Charles. Everybody recognizes him in Berkeley, but he's big as life on that mural, So it was a wonderful experience. But each mural I do, I just have a lot of joy in bringing it to people. So
yeah, and I'm hearing so many good elements. Like the idea that you start by really investing in the community, spending time there, hearing the stories, hearing what matters to people. And then you have this huge visual representation and colorful of those stories that may be lost, if not for this way of amplifying them. And so there's this visual in the community of those stories that are really important. And then there's this piece of that there are issues that need to be addressed, community issues embedded in that, and it raises some awareness, right, of those issues.
It definitely does. It will, through that mural, a group formed called the Friends of Edythe. But it was forming before I started, but people were meeting, and then I joined it. And so it's really diverse. And so, we're fighting for the homeless people, the underdog, the people who don't have anything. Why are they building all these expensive buildings where people move in and nobody can't move in them but rich people? And why aren't they actually doing, making buildings for homeless people and low-income people?
Yeah, your passion, it's so evident in the work, right? You can see it sprayed all out in the color and the visuals. And I think that's perhaps what resonates so much with people. I mean, I've seen your work and it, stopped me in my tracks, right? To stop and look at that. Yeah, it's really impactful. I wonder if you might, we just take a minute here at the end to think of our audience, people who are wanting to have an impact in their community, or in some creative way. Like, what's your biggest tip for doing that kind of work?
I think just loving yourself and finding joy in what you do. And know that there are some people that may even turn against you or get angry at you because you're doing it all, may not agree with you. Like I have had people scream at me because I didn't add another person that they wanted on the mural. And just know that you yourself are trying to do the right thing for the community. And that's all you can do. And then remember to invite everybody. Like I always put flowers on the bottom of my murals. And so I invite the school kids to come and paint flowers on the mural. I don't care if they're 2 years old, I tell them to come. And some people bring their 2-year-old kids and help them paint a flower. And so that makes people own that mural. There's a lot of people that own it. It's about 1,000 on this 92 feet. It's about 1,000 flowers on that mural that children painted, only children. And it looks beautiful. You would never know that it was done by children. You know, you would never know. Some of them are out of shape and everything, but when they're all together, you know, and that's the way flowers look anyway. When they're all together, some of them are dead, some of them are alive.
Right.
So it just works. It works, you know, having the flowers at the bottom. And so, and then, you know, old people that go by, they'll tell you, oh, I can't paint. And I try to encourage people who think that they can't paint and show them that they can. But, you know, just like being open to the community in a way that just shows love and empathy for people, because they need that now. Sometimes I'm walking down the street, and I'm 81 now. But when I'm walking down the street and I see
Say that again, Edythe? We lost you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I'm 81, but when I'm walking down the street, I will say to a person, if I think they fix themselves up for church, oh, you look so beautiful, you know, and they'll smile, you know, but that's the way you know, you just, it's like paying it forward, you know what I mean? And so many good things that's happened to me too. You know, I mean, I've got a chance to paint on this mural at my masterpiece mural, which made me kind of like famous. And I got into the magazine at the Young Museum this month, and with the seven of us, and Frida Kahlo is on the front, and I'm standing with Angela Davis. That's a miracle. You know, to me, it's a miracle.
Well, I'm glad you're sort of reaping what you've sown, I think, because the core parts of your message, which, gosh, have just been a thread this whole morning, are, you know, you're loving yourself and then turning that to the community, inviting them in, and you've done that. It's so evident in your work. So I sure appreciate being a small part of that, you know, through this conversation. So Edythe, we're going to move on to our next speaker. Is there any last thing you'd like to share with the audience, or where they might find more information? Or
well, they can Google my name. There's a lot of information on if you Google it. And I would just say, just have fun. Whatever you do, just don't let nobody. I always tell people, don't let anyone take your joy away. You know. Even if somebody gets angry at you, you don't have to go with that anger. You can say, you know, I'm going to be happy today. I'm not going to let them do that, you know.
That's great.
So, you know, just keep your joy. Keep your joy inside of you.
Thank you so much, Edythe, for that message. I really appreciate you joining today, and have a good one. Yeah.
Okay, you too. Thank you for inviting me to come.
All right. Thank you, Edythe. And for everyone at home, they can Google Edythe or check out in the library. There's a lot of good information under Edythe Boone.